Hello, everyone. This is Shawn Barksdale, 10 Minutes of Truth. We are here after the commemoration and celebration of Patrick Henry's quarter place memorial celebration. And this is exciting for me, and you'll find out in just a minute. We are here with Miss Angie Miles. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Hope you're well.
I am.
Good.
The reason that this is special to me because you are a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us a little bit of background about your journey in journalism and what you do as a profession now?
Absolutely. So I grew up in Powhatan, Virginia, so
okay.
I'm a country girl and had always, had a lot of interests. Never really thought about television or really journalism. But when I was in college at UVA, I got interested in radio. Okay. And so I became a part-time DJ, ended up doing an internship at Channel 29 in Charlottesville, and then became their weekend anchor, and one thing led to another. And so off and on, I would say, through the years, I have done work as a journalist, mostly for television, but a little bit for radio and for print as well. And currently, I am an anchor producer for a new statewide television program. It's a weekly show called VPM News Focal Point. We air on public television stations throughout the state of Virginia, covering mostly public policy issues as they impact everyday lives of Virginians. But we can also be found nationally on the PBS Passport app.
Oh, okay. So do you know of any of your ancestors that was into journalism?
Well, what an excellent question. No one has ever asked me that before. I actually don't think there were any. I do know my mother's mother was a teacher, and I think all journalists, if you're serious, you're part educator as well.
Absolutely.
And I actually also happen to have a degree in reading and literacy. I have a master's degree in literacy, so I'm educator too. Other than that, I don't know of any other journalists. I have found some cousins, like through DNA, distant cousins who are also journalists. So maybe there's something genetic there. And my father had a voice for broadcasting. He had the most amazing voice. You would have loved having him on your program.
Oh, wow. The reason I ask a question of that magnitude, because what this celebration has taught me in learning about Patrick Henry, I was ignorant about it until I came in and started to learn about it. The deeper you go back into your history, the more that you uncover about yourself. And this is where I feel that the saying, you can't know, you don't know where you're going until you know where you come from. Mm-hmm. And that's why I say the more that we pry and dig into our backgrounds, the more that we'll learn about, why we are the way we are.
Shawn, I think that is profound, actually, and I could not agree with you more. Right. I am a genealogy buff myself.
Oh, wow.
I'm very interested in finding more about my roots in all directions in my own family. And I do think that, if you watch some of the shows, like we have Finding Your Roots with Henry Louis Gates on PBS, and frequently people find there are coincidences, right? Things that are similar in their ancestors' life stories as in theirs. So I do think that history can repeat, and that we know ourselves much better when we know the journeys of our ancestors.
Absolutely. So, quarter place celebration. When you're at the station, right, who chooses who's going to take this story? Do you choose it yourself, or do they say, hey, Angie, you take that one?
Good. That's a good question too. And I think it varies depending on the organization. Okay. Right. But for us, because of the kind of show that we have a team of content producers. I'm one of those. And we come up with story ideas, each of us, and then we pitch the ideas to the editorial team, and I'm on that team as well. And the editorial team selects which stories we will do. And then it's up to the producer to basically craft the elements of the story. So it's a little different from, say, when I worked in a local newsroom in Charlottesville or in Richmond. I worked, the CBS affiliate in Richmond and the NBC affiliate for a bit. In those instances, there's a fire or there's a press release or, you get the governor's schedule for the day and there's an important thing to cover. And so someone will get an assignment if it's not already their beat. Like there might be, that government might be your beat or crime might be your beat, but you will get an assignment from the assignment desk. This is different because we are creating the content for the weekly show and in charge of producing what we are contributing. So I learned about this event and decided I wanted it to be part of the story that I'm doing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now that we see more of our African-American women in journalism in front of the camera telling not only our stories, the stories of the world. I want you to tell these young Black and brown young ladies right there why they should choose journalism as a career.
Well, I would say that your choice of a career pursuit really should be guided by your heart. Your heart and mind will direct you to your purpose. If you find that you are drawn to speaking, to learning, teaching, reading, researching, being in front of people and speaking, those kinds of things are great traits for journalism. And I would urge anyone who is inclined towards journalism to pursue it today, because good quality journalism is more needed today, maybe than ever. We have to have journalism in order to have an educated electorate. And an educated electorate is imperative for continuing democracy as we know it. So I don't know, there are a few jobs that are really important. Of course, doctors are important. You have healthcare workers are important. People who deliver the services that we can't do without. My father was a bus driver for over 50 years. Wow. Very important job, school bus driver. Right. But journalism is something that people may not think of, but it really protects democracy. We hold people to account and we share stories that impact our knowledge of our history, knowledge of who we are, to use your words from before, Shawn, and help to really pave a path for a successful future. So I encourage people to pursue it if they feel inclined that they have that interest.
I have one last question.
Okay.
It's 10 minutes of truth. You're going to have to tell the truth.
Uh-oh.
How do traditional journalists, anchor men and women, view podcasters?
That's a great question too. You ask a lot of great questions.
Thank
and so
you.
My opinion of podcasters just keeps going up. Honestly, Shawn, the answer is just, it depends. It really does. There are some people who are podcasters just because they want to have some limelight. Just like there are people who are journalists because they want to be recognized when they go out in public. But that's not a real calling, right? And there are other people who are podcasters because they really feel that there is something that they can contribute to the landscape of news and information.
Absolutely.
And that is the calling, and so they answer it. And so I don't think that there's one answer to how people feel about podcasters. A lot of traditional journalists are becoming podcasters and vice versa. Some podcasters are becoming
Correct.
So they're close cousins.
Great answer.
And hopefully we all do it for the right reasons and we do it well.
Correct. Thank you so much. How can people reach you if they want to tell their story?
I'm happy to hear from people. You can send me an email at amiles@vpm.org. That's VPM, like Virginia's Public Media. I can be, you can find me on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm at Anchor Angie or at Anchor Angie Miles. Try both of those. And also just on the vpm.org website, there are ways that people can contribute, give feedback, and contribute story ideas.
Thank you, Angie, for your service.
You're very welcome. And for the truth, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Shawn. Appreciate you.